telling you about his daughter is gone. So if you wait long enough, the community will die, and that gives them the respite so that they can continue to spread. But then, when they do that, the community that they just built gets to be next to it, and that's okay with them.
And the other thing too also was that the question was, you know, why don't you just sell your property and move? So we were determined that no, we're not going to move. We're going to try to improve this community. And we also began to understand that there was more birth. We could not allow those babies to continue to drink contaminated water. My daughter came, I said, oh, I got to really crank up there, crank it up. I went over to David, talked to David, and he said, you know, go for it. And so we've been going for it ever since. It's about changing the quality of life and health in our community. That is one of the key factors that keep us going. People ask us, well, wow, y'all got $25,000 from the EPA. Y'all getting paid? I said, no. We've been doing this for so many years that we don't think that we're supposed to get paid. But all the money that comes in is spent doing the program that we do. David and I, we goes up and down the highway, going from one place to another. It's coming out of our pocket. And we're convincing more and more people now to look at it that way, to get involved. You are changing the quality of life and health in your community. What is the price that you pay? Some of your time. And so, and one of the things, one of the other unique things that we done, the Chapel Hill Caldwell branch of the NAACP did not have an environmental component to it. But because the guru of the North Carolina Environmental Justice Network said, get your community involved. So now we have a chairperson that sits on that executive committee. And so that's how we get the community entwined in each other to help each other organization and make it stronger.
You mentioned a young lady who had carrying a sign in the PowerPoint who was 7 and is now 14 or 15. Do you hope that generation will stay and continue the fight?
Oh, yes, yes. Even she would go to meetings and fall asleep when she was there. Because it was just so long and everything, but she was there. And one thing I left out, and boy, please forgive me, is that we did not take out, we did this for 20 years and felt like we were by ourselves. Had no hope of anything happening until we met Gary Grant. And we started collaborating with the Justice, North Carolina Environmental. They said, you got to go, Dr. Hayes, you got to go. You got to meet this guy, you got to meet Naima. These are the people you need to make these contacts. You got to get into it. They allowed us to give our presentation one time, and man, we took off. And the thing that we push now is that, you know, I'm going to help you, you got to help me. And I always tell them that the old gangster thing, you know, one day I'm going to ask you for a favor. I'm help you today, but I'm asking you for
Watch
a
out,
favor.
Gary.
No, I'm asking you.
And he will call and say, we're going to such and such, saddle up. So we know, you know, put the backpack on and get the horse ready. Because, you know, you might be anywhere in the States. But because of what he's done, we feel obligated and we feel good about helping him and helping others. And as bad as we sound, God, there's so many communities out there that's so much worse than we are. And when they would tell us about the Dublin County, Greene County, and the hog waste being sprayed, and I'm like, that's impossible. But when you see it and you smell it, and it's there, and then you look at, I went there, and we have a thing in Hillsborough called Hog Day. I will never look at it the same again. Never. And they have thousands of people there, thousands of hogs that are grilling or whatever. I'll never look at it the same again. And those are the type of things that's what we got. Like I said, we really didn't start getting successes until dealing with him and seeing what other people had done in other organizations. And this, we try this. This is what we did on that. And well, we tried this. If you tried it, that might work for you. If you have any universities in your area, if you have any people working with the paper, any friends that will write stories for you, and, you know, any author, any famous, anything like that that you can put in and try and get them involved. And we got all that from his organization going to his meeting. And we hit it, the summit, every year religiously. I mean, when January comes around, we write that in on our calendar, so we know we're not putting anything in on that.
And the other thing that was very helpful to us, at the EJ Summit, we met a young man by the name of Omega Wilson. He came out and did a workshop on how to write a Title VI complaint. After we done that, we wrote our Title VI complaint. We started getting all sorts of phone calls. We began to get movement on what we have been doing, and it really brought a spotlight to what we were doing. And so when we go places, as David was saying, we tell people how to go out and do this, how to get connected, and through collaboration, change will come. And so, you know, it might cost a little bit to go a mile, but once you go that mile, you know the terrain and you know how to navigate. And so
Next time
we'll
you see
learn.
it, use it. And with our Title VI, the government said, our local government, we're not talking to y'all. Y'all are suing us.
Don't
What are you talking about suing us? You got a Title VI against us. You're suing us. We said, no, we're not. We're not suing you. And we had to break it down and explain to them what a Title VI was.
So
On that.
we have some students here. Can you, in a few